We on the air. All right, we jumping. We back jumping. Let me turn it up a little bit more. Yeah, we jumping. All right. My fault. Back to business. Okay, so way my childhood shaped my adulthood, contributed to my adulthood, was like the way I grew up. It was like very chaotic and everything was in turmoil. So basically, long as I was cool, I really didn't care about the surroundings or none of that. So that's how I went into the relationship. It was like, well, if I'm good, the relationship don't really matter to me, basically. So and that's what, dang, that's messed up now that I think about it. Nah, that's kind of messed up. So yeah, so it was like, it was like, pretty much, okay, so let's break it down. It was like in my life, people that was there, you didn't really trust them because you couldn't, because everybody doing something for something. Nobody ever did nothing out of the kindness of their heart. Don't get it. Like, that's not what they do where I'm from. So anyway, but it was like, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get the whole, I got it though. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to get the flow, like the flow together. So, it was like, and then I went into relationships. So I was like, well, everybody else in my life left, so I don't know if this is gonna be real or whatever. So, you know what I mean? That's pretty much how I went to that, that's how my childhood contributed to my adulthood.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, because our upbringings were different, like I said, I came from we both came from a single parent home, essentially. But I was the only child at home, and he had, his 4 siblings. And my mom, just had one child to take care of, so she could spend a lot of time focusing on me and my needs and everything. So once we got together, our differences were that I was very organized and structured, and I made, plans, and, everything had to have, like, I had to go through all the pros and cons, and I had to really, like, come up with the best plan and think of everything that could happen, which would drive Henry crazy because he's like, well, you can't think of everything that's going to happen. You can't think like that because you're never going to do anything because there's always something that could happen. And I was very rigid with my schedule, such as if we were getting ready to go to the movies and, we were supposed to leave at 5:30, and of course Henry's never on time for anything. If we didn't leave at 5:30, like we left at 5:35 or 5:40, I'd be not one to go because I'm like, we were supposed to leave at 5:30. Silly. And it's stupid that I thought that way, but that was just, I like that comfort of knowing what was going to happen. And Henry never knew what was going to happen in his life. So he was just like, let's just go, and whatever happens, happens. That was the other story I was going to talk about. Several years ago, this is when we still lived in Xenia, we weren't married yet, he was going out of town, and we woke up, and his friends come over, and they're getting ready to leave, and I'm like, where are you going? And Henry's like, I don't know. And I was like, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, where are you going? I don't know. Well, when you come home? I don't know. Well, where are you going to be staying at? I don't know. How long is it going to take you to get there? I don't know. That would petrify me. I could not have any of those I don't knows at all. Like, I would have to know all of those answers. So that's where we're different, because he trusted the people he was with to take him where he was going. And he was like, I don't care. I'm just along for the ride. So that was some of the things that I wanted to talk about, that how our differences contribute to our relationship.
I was reckless. Damn, that's reckless. I mean, hearing that's pretty reckless. Like, somebody can come and get you, like, hey man, like my cousins, my homeboys, anybody, they be like, hey, I need you to ride with me real quick. I'd be like, I never asked where we was going. I really didn't care, because I mean, if you asked me to ride with you, it's pretty much you're gonna need me there, good or bad. So it really don't matter. So I mean, I'm down, but I ain't just riding with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, like, dude I don't know can't come over here and be like, hey man, ride with me real quick. Be like, yeah, okay. Yeah, your ass. Yeah, so I think the way, well, at first, because the relationship has evolved to something you wouldn't believe. So at first it was like, my childhood had me in a relationship like she gonna leave, or she doing all this because she expects something, or you know what I mean? Because that's pretty much all the people that was pretty much around me in my life. And then when I actually started realizing that I actually had a lot of blessed people. I had the blessing of having a lot, like everybody in my like my life path, I guess. They have been good-hearted people. Like I don't really mess with bad-hearted people, and if I do, they family. Like yeah, so that's that. Okay, yeah. We got 9 minutes left on this one. Okay, we got 7.
Okay, so because of our upbringings were different, because of our home life was different, our family dynamics at home were different. We do have a different opinion about how to raise our kids in some ways. Henry's Henry's the dad that as long as King is safe, he just lets King do whatever he wants. I'm more restricted on his behavior. Not heavily restricted. Like he's allowed to have fun. But I'm trying to, keep him from doing things that are going to be harder to break him of when he gets older. There were times that I would catch Henry letting King jumping on the couch or climbing on this or whatever. And he's like, "You're going to get us in trouble," because here goes mommy. So, and that's because in his childhood, I believe in his childhood, he didn't really have he wasn't allowed to have fun. He wasn't allowed to be a kid all the time. He wasn't allowed to enjoy all the fun things that kids get to enjoy. So we spent a lot of time making sure that King gets to enjoy being a kid. One thing that we do as family is we take him to Scene 75. So that's one thing that we do. And also we look at the positives of our upbringings and we use those as guidance to help us raise our children. And then we also look at the things our parents could have done better. And we just, work in doing those things better because no parent's perfect. And we understand that. And we're definitely not perfect. But we understand that, you're going to make mistakes and we're going to make mistakes. But that's the fun part of being a parent. As long as they survive the night, the next day is whatever. So.
Yeah, me with King, man. See, this is my thing. This is my thing, man. And when you said that, I mean, that's pretty much what it was. We wasn't. You cannot imagine, like it's actually like, man, I am so happy that my house got toys laying around everywhere. Like I'm so happy, you don't even understand. Like, and to hear the kids bouncing around, and man, I love that, man. Like we was not allowed to do that. Like for real, anybody that grew up in the 80s, 90s, we were not allowed to do that. Like you go outside if you're gonna be in this house making all that noise. That's what you gonna do. So, I man, listen. As long as you don't hurt yourself, I'm gonna tell you the best thing to do. The son, I don't think you should do that. Like, I ain't gonna say don't do it, but I'm gonna tell you I don't think you should do that. But if you choose to do it after that, then that's on you. But yeah, if you hurt yourself, I'm gonna whoop you. That's basically my thing. Son, if you get hurt, I'm gonna whoop you. So just know you can't do nothing kind of suicidal or nothing like that. So other than that, have a ball with life, man. That's what I'll be trying to get this point, man. Enjoy life, man. Have fun. Yeah. So what we got?
Well, we might be able to finish on this and just be done. Because we only got one topic left. Yeah. So how we deal with life based on our programming. So one of our books that we've read, Henry's read it how many times? 10? Secret of Millionaire Minds, and it's written by
T. Harv Eker.
So you should check it out. It's an awesome book. And he talks about our programming. Everybody has programming. Regardless if you're rich or poor or middle class or if you're male or female, if you're anything, you have programming. It's just how you're taught. It's what you hear from your parents and your family and your teachers and everything. So, like I said, my programming, which I get from my mother, I love her to death, is, everything, you have to know, she asks, like, every question possible for every possible event. And I get that from her. And that hinders my, my way of thinking sometimes. because I'm so I overthink things so much. Huh?
I should be sitting straight up.
I overthink things a lot.
Whatever.
Everything a lot. There are times that I will have a conversation with somebody, and an hour later I'm going over the conversation saying, okay, well, I should have said this, or I should have said that, or why didn't I say this, or what did they mean by that? And it's over. It happened an hour ago. It's done with. Why am I still thinking about it? So, and not to say that doing those things are a bad thing. It's just it does affect how I live my life. So being with Henry, because he doesn't do it, think that way, there's a lot of times that we don't understand where each of us is coming from, because the way I think about something, the way he thinks about something, they clash. So one of the things over the 15 years of us being together is that I've learned to be more relaxed, more laid back. Henry's favorite thing to say, something goes awry, is it's all part of the adventure. It's we're this journey, we're going on this journey together, and we never know what's going to be around the bend, but we're doing it together. So there's a lot of other things about my programming that we could talk about, but that might be for another episode. But that's the main thing, I think, is that being very organized, being very planned. Like both of both of our kids' conceptions were planned by me. So
right. I just went with it. Like I'm down.
I mean, down to like the month that they were going to be born in, so that the first child would be my sign and the second child would be his sign. The first child didn't necessarily mean to be my sign; it just happened to be. And then we
oh, I got a crazy one.
I didn't purposely mean for it;
crazy,
it just happened
boss.
for him to be a Pisces, and then we decided that the next child would be a Cancer, which we achieved that because I'm pretty good at planning. So, what do you got to say about your programming?
My programming. See, now this was crazy. Okay, so reading this book, I figured out my programming was because I don't think I was ever good enough, you know what I mean, or worthy, you know what I mean, or I didn't deserve to, you know what I mean. I think that's how I grew up, and then as I got, I want to say in my 30s. Yeah, when I got my 30s, I started realizing, well, wait a minute, I do deserve this, and I am worth this, and I am worth that. But yeah, it took me a minute because, I mean, I was at 13, I was like worried about a roof over my head. So, you know what I mean? And it wasn't moving from house to house, wasn't nothing stable in my life. So my pro did now, and I've changed it now to the point where it's like, I feel like I think like it can always get worse. Like, you know what I mean? To me, it's always gonna be a situation better than yours, but it's always gonna be a situation worse than yours. Just believe that. So you can be on top of the world, and believe me, it's somebody on this planet that's in outer space. So you just on top of the world, but they're in a whole different atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So it's always gonna be somebody better than you. It's gonna always be somebody worse than you. So, and my thing is, it can always get worse, man. Like, you can lose a leg. You be like, well, still got the other leg. You can lose that leg. You be like, well, still got my hands. You know what I mean? So it can get worse, man. So that's how I live life. Like, and I know so I'm so humble, and I just want everything to get, like, I just want to keep going up. Like, I'm cool where we at, but I'm not cool where we at. You know what I mean? Like, if we are, oh, shoot, here we go. Okay, so, my fault. I got in host mode. So comments, Happily Married TV at gmail.com.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yes,
Can't get that word out, sorry.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel, Happily Married TV. We off pause over here. Shout out to my jeweler. We in Studio B in the Xbox, you know what it is. But we got all this stuff back here. This ain't. Yeah, so yeah, that's what it is, man. All
right.
Till next time.
I'm Jessica.
Henry Jr. And we happily married.
Who that?